I don't know what's going on with this interruption message. Alright, everyone can see me now. Sorry about that, I have no idea what happened. You know, that nice thing that Twitch does by giving priority transcodes to affiliates. That thing they say they do. You missed my who's-a-what's-it getting knocked back. Alright, let's think about this for a minute. Okay, they can move forward with Pierce, so... let's... Okay, 5 damage, they've got 6. 1 damage, but I can't do anything to them. 4 damage, they take 1, so obvious choice.
A decisive pummeling.
So... Nice! Unfortunately, the leper's not going to be able to self-heal. So obviously any damage that's going to happen, the Pelagic Widemouth has already done, so I'm going to take the opportunity to just move people around. This is going to be sort of pure healing for everyone, seeing as we already know that they're going to die to the Blight. I gotta move them somewhere so they don't get distracted. Yeah. So the reason I moved them rather than took maybe bolder action. Jesus Christ, what am I doing? Okay. Shield Breaker. You can go to the front until I replace you, Kaya. Now you go to the proper front. You two switch. Okay, that took way too many actions, but we're good to go. So the reason I did that was just on the odd chance that Collier would get another move and I could use Patch Up on the Leper. Alternatively, if the Leper moved, I could use Solemnity. Neither of that happened, but I was trying to take the chance that I'd get an opportunity to do another heal. So let's press on ahead. We'll see what awaits us in the last room. Sack's contents are yours. And I need to make room. So we'll get rid of the medicinal herbs in this case. I'm kind of curious what happens when this tick... Okay, so it looks like our looting, or our scouting becomes worse. So there's a possibility that I'm wasting these torches if I camp this next area, but I do want to maximize my chance of scouting. Alright, cool. So now we get to see if we're up against the bad guys. And we are. Now we're going to have one battle in between, but I definitely want my team at sort of top capacity, so we'll camp.
A moment of
now I seem to recall the Shield Breaker has this nightmare that happens sometimes. So this might actually wind up... This might wind up hurting me more than helping. Let's... Okay, so we'll do Reflection. I'm basically going to go for the buffs. So total of 5 here. Yeah, I think I'm going to do it. So Adder's Embrace and Snakeskin. I'm not sure Eldritch Blood is worth it here. Clean Musket is mildly tempting, but so is Triage. So that's 2. Okay, so we'll do the Wound Care and we'll do Bloody Shroud just to maximize the buffs.
Haunting the hearts of men.
This will not stand. I can't afford to do any of that, so I'm going to do a quick self-heal here. We'll do Serpent Sway. As much as I would prefer to do damage, I'm going to try and boost up my defense. And we'll do what damage we can. Part of that decision process was driven by the fact that my leper is stunned, so I want to take advantage of what moves I can. Now, normally I would have gone for the Pelagic Oracle in this case. The reason I went for the weaker enemy, it does stun, and the Pelagic Oracle I would be very unlikely to take out in one hit. So we'll do another sidearm. Okay, didn't work. Now the good news here is they're going to be able to do a self-heal if it comes down to it.
Inspiration and improvement.
Again, we're going to do an Absolution just because I need to actually get my leper into the front position. Now, in this case, I'm actually going to move them into position. And now we can start doing some serious damage. It would have been smarter for me to do one where I move back, actually, but I wasn't thinking. So in this case, I'm actually going to do the self-heal. It's a little selfish, but... trying to keep my crew ready for the impending fight. So, Adder's Kiss. That's just to get my leper into position one.
Gently. This is how a life is taken.
The aim here is going to be to try and heal up the team where I can. My rationale here is that we're going to be able to... Oh, nope, he got his move. Alright, well I'm still sticking with this because he takes 4 damage a round, so everybody can afford to heal each other. So I'm going to heal the Shield Breaker in this case, just because they're a frontline unit. Self-heal. This guy's gonna die to Blight on his own. Right. It would have been nice if I didn't have if I had like another opportunity to heal there, but I was obviously trying to make the most of the situation. Alright. I've sinned so very much, light guide me. The message has lasting impact on the hero and they become a Warren's adventurer. It is debatable as to whether or not this is going to hurt me for the next fight. We'll see. The prot here is actually a bit of a pain. Okay, that's some serious damage. So I think the first thing we need to do is take out the heavier damage dealers, and then we try and patch ourselves up as best as we can. I particularly want to put Blight on the Plated Maggot just due to their high protection. And then here we're just going to do as much damage as we can to anybody who will be wearing down my guys. So I'm actually going to do Impale here just because that'll be a nice way of getting some Blight on the Pelagic Oracle, and I think it's also going to distribute some nice Blight damage across the team. Yep, so now I can start afford to start healing people. Oh, I hate to do this, but I am going to heal first. That's just because that guy didn't have enough. So self-heal. Now we're not out of the woods with this guy yet. I want to try and take advantage of a little bit of tempo. So, for instance, this character doesn't have any self-heals, so they can do heavy damage. And again, we've got a bit of a gap. Like, it would be nice if my leper had a had a little bit more health to start off with. But this isn't the worst case to be in. And in fact, seeing as we know this is, the final boss, we can actually chow down a bit. Okay, and away we go.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear. Even in death, the captain shouts his orders, and the crew obeys.
So again, strategy here is to take the back row and deal as much damage as we can through ticking. We'll start with the Serpent Sway just to help block the damage.
A devastating blow.
Right, this is going to start healing him, so I need to make sure that we deal with the Drowned Ropeman pretty quickly. It's actually a fairly heavy amount of heal that they get, so I want to be pretty careful about what's happening there. This is going to be kind of hard to fix, actually. Okay, so we got a little bit of tempo. We'll be able to kind of make up some of that healing that they got. Presumably, they're going to call. No, they're not going to call crew. So we'll take the opportunity to do as much damage as we can to the Sunken Crew. And I think what we're going to try here with Masamagoma is we're going to try a stun on the Drowned Ropeman. Ooh, but they got a pretty high stun resist. Actually, they have a pretty high everything resist. Anyways, let's do an Impale. That'll distribute the blight damage, and it's going to put my Crusader back in position 1. Or my leper in position 1.
Brilliant confluence of skill and purpose.
Nice! Okay, that's bought me some time, so we'll hew. The nice thing about the Sunken Crew is that they're just enormous, so it seems like every ability can do sort of extra damage, and getting that second turn with the leper is great, because I'm pretty sure 2 hews are going to be able to take them out. Okay, well, that's fine. That just gives me another chance to distribute the blight. This is a tougher call. I think I'm gonna keep throwing up on them. So we're doing 6. Actually, it's not too much that per round. Ah, that's disappointing. Yeah, that's not surprising. I really thought we were going to be able to take that guy out, but I think we're still in good shape. I have no idea what Mutiny does, but I am terrified by the the prospect. Oh, this guy's back up to full health. Okay, well... I still need to throw up on him. It's probably making me captain. God, this heals so much. Debuff, lower damage, lower crit. Okay. Still not enough, Jesus Christ. He's got 2 health. Yeah, this guy's gonna get healed for a lot. His prots. I wonder if his prot goes up because the Drowned Ropeman is doing their thing. All right.
Executed.
I'll admit, I kind of would have hoped to have had this thing taken out by now, but we're clearly going to win. It's
A singular strike.
just not quite working the way I would have thought it would go. Okay, this guy's gonna die no matter what. Let's not take any chances. This guy, one heal, and that guy's gonna cause me problems.
They are cursed to float forever, deep in the swirling blackness.
Cool. All right.
Far beyond the light's reach.
I want all of this. It's tempting to go and try and get the other goodies. But I'm not going to. Okay, so we're up a little over 10,000. Would have been nice to have more heirlooms, but not at the expense of potentially starving to death in the other part of the dungeon. And we got 2 level 4s out of that. Collier and Scream are going to be level 4 on the next round. And of course, more importantly, we got a bunch of improved heroes out of that. So all in all, I'd say
There
that's
is a great horror beneath the manor. A crawling chaos that must be destroyed.
that was a good night's work. All right, GNR / meditated, recovered 84 stress. Cecilia underwent effective disease treatment and cured ennui. Plagas did the same and cured vertigo. Truazgoth underwent effective disease treatment and cured the fits. JFC Fuller is returned from their vision quest. Ren has drank a vial of the blood and their thirst is slaked. Masamagoma and Kaya LB are now level 4 characters. In terms of quest goals, obviously we knocked down the Fulminating Prophet as well as the Sunken Crew. What we have left, so Necromancer Lore and Gibbering Prophet, I'm assuming those are the sort of top levels, so that's probably going to be like level 5, level 6 versions of the Necromancer and Prophet. Hagwitch, Brigand, 16 Pounders, similar idea here, we've already dealt with Hags. Swine King and Unstable Flesh, so these are sort of the tier 2 versions of these guys. I don't even remember the Swine King, or the Swine Prince and the Inchoate Flesh that well. And we've got 2 more of the Crimson Court to go through. All right, let's keep... We have got so many lepers signing up. Now, it's been a while since I've had an antiquarian. It's unlikely...
She searches where others will not go, and sees what others will not see.
It's unlikely I'm going to be bringing them along just because I've only got 2 other level 1 characters, and none of these other ones really excite me that much, but we'll see what we can do. Drowning in lepers. Their pieces are all over the place. I should have sent Frankenvinder on some kind of recovery. Alright, so I think deeds are the highest upgrade priority right now. Sanitarium... So it's tempting. Let's see what else we can use those busts for. Stress treatment. It's kind of a higher priority for me, to be honest.
A little hope, however desperate, is never without worth.
That's pure crests, but I'm actually short on them now. I mean, there's upgrades I can do, but I kind of want to keep it... Kind of just want to keep it the way it is right now. The guild and the blacksmith are sort of my higher priorities right now. Okay, so let's say that my goal is deeds and money. So my options here, fresh air in the tunnels. Okay, paintings aren't bad. 100% of room battles gives me pause, but this I just don't think we're going to be able to get a party together for. Long, explore 90% of rooms. That's, I mean, especially if I'm looking for deeds, this is pretty much a screaming, please do this. No, sorry, Cool Eagle. Again, I'm just really bad. So this is a weird quirk. I have no idea what causes it, but basically, when I play Darkest Dungeon, I have this odd sort of side effect where switching from the estate to the dungeon part will sort of reduce the size of the screen somehow, and the way that it now I don't see anything on my monitor, but basically the way it translates in terms of streaming is anytime that transition happens, it gets smaller on the screen, and taking a screenshot fixes it. I have no idea why. Okay. I'm definitely more tempted to bring level 3 characters in. So if I get rid of Mase Magoma and Kaya LB, again, I've certainly got no shortage of replacement lepers. So let's say Chia, because I know Chia is, I'm pretty sure Chia is a viewer. Let's try sorting by level again. So what's the other level 3? So Bouchier, True Asgoth, Camerooni, Cecilia, Kite. None of them particularly exciting as far as healers. Okay, better question. Who is the better scout? Does it even list scouting here? One of the reasons I'm doing this is just to see if I can do some sort of like discount upgrades. Let's do Inspiring Tune. Ooh, it's getting a little costly. I will upgrade Harvest though. Not so sure about Slice Off. Colliers, where I want them to be. So then the question is, what's it gonna cost me at the blacksmith? 4,000 is expensive. Ooh, that's right. I think Camerooni's gonna get a little short on... Okay, so... we're definitely gonna overstock on food. As far as torches... yeah, we'll do 2 stacks of torches. We've got a decent scouting, so I think we should be able to make it through the worst of it. Yeah, let's go for it. The only thing that I'm worried about is if I wind up getting hit with a couple of hungers right away, I won't be able to use all my firewood, and I don't have any heals.
Pace out the halls of your lineage once familiar, now foreign.
Okay, so I am going to have to deal with a battle, but it is an empty room. Oh yeah, this is a pretty straightforward run. Experiments do not yield any findings. I should have adjusted the abilities. I wanted to help with the stress. So because we're short on heals, I'm going to make sure that I have this block up as often as I can.
Obliterated.
So yeah, the only blunder that I made was these bleeding abilities don't really mean that much in the ruins.
Grievous injury.
Yikes.
Palpable fear.
So here we'll impale. And I'm going to start using my musketeer to heal the jester.
Soothed. Sedated.
That was probably dumb. I think the blight would... No, that was one per turn. So.
Be wary.
Okay.
Triumphant pride precipitates.
So let's get rid of the finale in favor of Inspiring Tune. Inspiring Tune will be used on probably the musketeer for most of the time. So again, the reason I'm willing to brave a hallway battle is it knocks off a room, and especially because I already have a reasonably high scout chance, it means that I'm going to be able to sort of pick and choose my encounters down the road, and that's going to allow me to use my firewood slightly more effectively. Okay, should still be able to use Hughes so the Bone Veteran can get pounded by the sword. Once this guy's taken care of, I'll go back to healing the Jester. It's less of an argument for keeping this Leper in position 1 just because they don't have the do more damage when in position 1 ability. I probably should have done a Battle Ballad, but Inspiring Tune it is. Not great. I'm gonna do here. Okay, that's nice. So it's only 1 per round. I'm not quite ready to fix this.
Exposed to a killing blow.
I'm gonna do something slightly different though. So we are gonna stress heal here. I'm actually gonna use this opportunity to heal the Jester. And this is because my shield breaker is gonna be in a position to hit the Bone Noble. Oh, no, I don't want to hit the Bone Noble. Okay, now I do. Hey, Plagas!
Destroy them all.
You just got cured by disease. So originally I was going to keep the Bone Noble up so I could do the Hew, then they became available, and what I would have wanted to do instead would be to self-heal. So let's get rid of Revenge. There we go. The run is going reasonably well. Let's see what we're up against. There's no reason for me not to be brightening the torches, so I'll do that right now. And we get kind of a free pass for the next room.
A blazing star is born.
I'm going to skip that for now. I do need to get back to taking out those cocoons, but we don't have healing, so I'm gonna pass it by. This shouldn't be a problem. I'm gonna just speak with tremendous confidence and avoid using the block ability. So this ordering I did had a very specific okay, well, it won't matter. There's a really specific order that I wanted to follow because I was gonna hit them with the slice off, but I kind of messed it up. So in this case, we'll do an Inspiring Tune on my other guys. How are things with you? Anything new and exciting? I'll try and show you how your character's going. I will show you some of the people who have died since I've seen you the last time. Okay, so we're going to have 2 room battles coming up, but we're not in too dire a straits. The only thing is I'd kind of like Chia to get some healing in.
A fortune, waiting to be spent.
So the 2 big liabilities right now are the damage on the Jester, and I'm going to be removing a damage dealer to heal themselves. Just cleared week 2 of classes. It looks like Semester of Easy A's also managed to get a replacement part for your car. Heated, cooled seats have been non-functional for years for free today. You look forward to seeing your character, assuming you get to be here long enough. Plagas, that sounds like everything is going extremely well for you. I'm so happy to hear that. And I hope you continue to have that success. What I'm going to do here is I'm going to do Battle Ballad first. And this is just sort of to distract. I've got 3 major damage dealers that are going to benefit from that right now, and I really do want to start taking out some people in the back. So the Bone Noble is the weaker of the 2, and that paid off. We got to take him out. The nice thing now is that we've got 2 bleeders in the middle if the Jester winds up doing that. I think in this case I'm going to do the Impale just to distribute some Blight. It doesn't do a ton of Blight, and as much as I want to do Solemnity, I am going to heal first.
Decimated.
We're going to move forward, I think. Yeah, so I don't get my bleed benefit anymore. Alright, so slice off just to do the ticking damage, so they're down to 5. They still only take 1 per turn though, so I'm gonna punt a little bit and do some healing. This is partly just to avoid... This is such a tough call. I am gonna push ahead.
Press this advantage. Give them no quarter.
Here I'm gonna do Slumby. So part of this is just to avoid using my firewood too early. Not much I can do here, so let's improve the stress. Gotta be careful, because this guy is gonna hit me.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms.
I wanted to try and be braver, but... Oh, here's what we can do, so... I don't like that I'm doing this, but I am actually going to eat the food this time around. So I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to camp after this next room battle. There's an argument for it because it frees up pack space. Okay, plus 20% till camp. That gives me a reason not to camp, but we'll see how the battle goes. This could definitely be worse. If we can take out the Bone Courtier or the Bone Noble, we'll be laughing. I think we'll do the same thing, do a Battle Ballad just to boost the damage for the other 3 damage dealers.
The blood quickens.
Beauty. Impale, the ticking damage really doesn't excite me that much, so in this case... Well, I do want to do damage though, so let's go after some of the weaker guys. Ah, pity.
Eradicated.
We got very lucky there, so I'm going to take this opportunity to kind of heal up some of the stress. So I'm relying on the fact that my shield breaker can do a decent amount of damage in the front row. Oh, nice. Okay.
A momentary abatement.
So this is the game kind of saying, hey, you gotta actually fight the bad guys.
Confidence surges.
It would have been nice to do some extra healing, but in this case, we're we're in decent enough shape. Okay. Before we open this chest, I am going to do camp. I don't like this too much because it is... It's a little early to be doing this, but... and I don't believe I have any way... Yeah, there's no way to protect from a nighttime ambush, so... True. Alright, I don't think anybody has any time. Well, I mean, let the mask down, but I don't want to increase the stress, so... Love listening to you explain my methodology, though. You've got many hours clocked, 0 wins, so hearing other perspectives.
Can be found in the most tenebrous
this is gonna suck for stress, but I think we'll get through it. Yeah, well, I mean, the other thing too, Plagas, is that it's one thing is it keeps me honest, so it is really tempting to do Serpent Sway here. I think I'm going to do it. It does keep me kind of honest in the sense that if I say I think X is going to happen and X doesn't happen, I'm sort of held accountable for it. But also giving voice to sort of my intentions. You know, whether or not it's a success, it makes the experimentation really explicit. And it's one way I like playing games, just because in the end, I've never felt that, like, walking in and kicking ass the first time around is always the most exciting. But the process of learning is really big for me. And that's why, it's actually why I like playing games like this. Alright, Impale is kind of tempting. The only problem here is that it doesn't do that much ticking damage. The Frothing Madman isn't going to be doing that much to me right now either, so I can Adder's Kiss... Yeah, I think I'm going to... Oh. Nope. We're just going to pierce the guy in the back. I'm hoping that the Hue will be enough to... You know what, I should have buffed the guys instead of helped with the stress. Well, I mean, it wasn't exactly what I was looking for, but... I can live with this. So... I'm gonna get a little healing in. Yeah, that was pretty unlikely to keep that guy alive.
Spirits are lifted.
All right, let's see what we get.
Purpose is made clear.
Packs laden with loot are often short on supply, so do I want 2 torches? Yeah, you know what, screw the anti-venom. Oh, this game is so generous. So clearly we're gonna head this way first because we have sort of 3 free rooms. New metals are synthesized.
If only treasure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
So obviously we're gonna have a couple of hallway battles, but nothing too alarming. I think I'm gonna be able to inflict bleed on this guy. Oh, not from this position. What was I thinking? Alright, Battle Ballad it is. I should have repositioned everyone. That'll make things a little inconvenient, but let's start by taking out whoever we can. So no bleed for me, as it turns out. I will continue to do the blocks. And So this went from being a trivial fight to a slightly
Mortality clarified in a
slightly more troubling one, and this is based entirely on the positioning of my characters.
Such a terrible assault cannot be left unanswered.
The hope here is that I'll be able to make up the losses by taking out the big guy. In this case, let's try an impale.
Well struck.
Again, I'm trying for the ticking damage where I can.
A momentary abatement.
That is admittedly not the most exciting choice I could have made, but and this time we'll move. That's pretty heavy damage, but again, we can self-heal. The catch is that I've got the Jester in position at exactly the time that they're going to be the least effective.
A victory. Perhaps a turning point.
Yeah, this will still do something meaningful. So the fact that they're in position 4 means that there's really only one person to... I was really hoping that I could get a heal in. Oh well. This will be a little tricky to navigate, but not impossible.
Or is it merely a trick of the light?
Okay, let's see what we're up against in these other rooms. Interesting. So we know we've got 2 fights. I'm gonna risk it, but this is a little less attractive than it was before. And that hunger has made it less likely I'm going to use this firewood now. So again, priority is to take these guys out before I do anything too savory. This harvest was a pretty high priority, even though I could have buffed people, just because it's going to get bleed on the 2 people who can have bleed inflicted on them. And now we've gotten rid of the person who can do torch and stress damage. So the rest of this is going to be about healing up my team. So of course, I pay in the bleed and the damage for not having my block up, but I did get 2 tough characters taken out. So I'm going to be a little careful on how I manage this, but we'll do a battle ballad.
Inspiration and improvement.
And I think basically it's going to be if somebody can heal, they'll heal. Otherwise, we're going to do whatever damage we can to the front row. So my leper, even though they're normally a damage dealer, I'm going to get them to do Solemnity. Especially because Solemnity is just such a big heal on its own. I think there's a good argument to stick with it. Nice. All right, so they're going to start healing other characters next. We've already got the buff up, so let's just do a quick inspiration. They can't attack this position anyway, so... All right, would have been nice to get another Solemnity, but I can live with that.
Remind yourself that overconfidence is a slow and insidious killer.
This sucks. Because I really want the heirlooms. So normally I don't like losing money, but obviously heirlooms are worth quite a bit more than the value of these goods. Cool.
Wealth beyond measure, awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
This 2 food is actually going to make all the difference. when camping. I don't like that I'm doing this, but I'm gonna sacrifice the blood in this case because we do actually need cash. All right, this is gonna be a pretty tough run, to be honest. I'm sticking with it, but this is a little greedier than what I would normally want to do in this case. Okay, the prot's going to be a problem on this one. We'll do the battle ballad just because I want to take out definitely the back row, ideally the back two. Now one challenge here is I don't think I have a lot of good armor piercing. So this one, get rid of the stress dealer first.
A brilliant confluence of skill and purpose.
So there's a cost for that. That is some heavy bleed damage. I have to heal. I would have liked to self-heal, but we actually need to start getting some people off the board. Let's see what we can do. So 3 damage per round. 2 rounds, they're done, so that's manageable. This is armor piercing. Okay, so we're in better shape now. I am going to do a quick self-heal on this one just because I don't think I'm going to get another opportunity. This is a little weak, but I'm going to make a guess here that the combined healing on the shield breaker is going to be enough. Alright, and they resisted the bleed, so this will very likely pay off. So they die next round no matter what, so in this case we'll take the opportunity for an inspiring to have a cool one, Cool Eagle. Have a good one, Cool Eagle. What were you playing? By the way, guys, this is terrible of me. I did not shout out Cool Eagle when they hosted me. I'm sorry, it's been a wacky day for me. Please do check them out. What were you playing tonight? Was the question I should have asked. If you need to go to bed right away, you know, that's my bad. I will wear the hair shirt for doing so. What I can tell you in terms of some of the stuff that Cool Eagle normally plays, a lot of BattleTech, but they've also done Stellaris and Age of Wonders Planetfall most recently, so a little bit more of a strategy focus. For those of you who are still hanging out from Cool Eagle's stream, I highly recommend that you pressure him into playing this game. No one died for I actually haven't seen Kenshi before, so I'm not sure what that means. Anyways, I apologize, Cool Eagle. That was very bad of me. That completely slipped my mind. And Plaga, sorry I didn't get a chance to show you your character. I assure you they're awesome, and they did good work. And we will see you. We'll see you next time. I'm glad to hear that school's going so well. I hope it stays that way. Okay, let's say. Maximize the damage in the front row. Well, that's... Yeah, I can see this working. Okay, well, obviously, healing time. Nice. You'll check out Cool Eagle. Okay, I'm glad. I'm glad I've gotten Cool Eagle a new follower, because I was feeling like a bit of a jerk. I really can't justify hanging on to this 2 food when I've got busts. Even the emerald is kind of tempting to take. The only thing is that I've got onyx. I've got like 5 onyx, so that's actually worth quite a bit. We'll leave it be. The armor protects the hero with knightly something, aura, I think. So I'm mildly tempted to rest in the
Packs laden with loot. are often low on supplies.
I'm mildly tempted to rest in the treasure room just so that I can free up space for the... Alright. Resting is no longer an option with this much food. Alright then.
A singular strike.
Damn it! They're gonna heal. I'm gonna do the buff first. I think I'm gonna try the Adder's Kiss on the... Oh, Jesus. Shieldbreaker is a really impressive character. It is such a hard call here. I want to do some damage to the Chevalier, but being able to heal... I'm gonna heal them. They're really my only healer in this case, so I think I need to keep them a little safer than I have been.
The ground quakes.
Okay, well, that's a solemnity, so we can work with that. So 3 damage around, they've got 9 health. All rendered
Seize
moot.
this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
Okay, so fact of the matter is, it's entirely too risky for me to try and rest now. The amount of food I have just can't justify it. So I'm going to live with this for now, and we'll see what we've got in the heirloom chest. Nothing! Should have done this on the leper who can actually heal themselves. So I'm feeling generally okay with where we're at. We are going to have a hallway battle, but we should be getting close to the... We should be getting close to the objective. And then we'll probably get another slot free with the torches.
The light, the promise of safety.
And that's why we didn't camp. God damn it.
Curious is the trap maker's art. His
I saw that
efficacy
at like the
unwitnessed
last
by his own
possible
eyes.
second. This guy's got a very high priority to heal now.
Ancient traps lie in wait.
If I lose a character because of this,
Strong
I am
men
gonna...
thirsting for blood.
I don't know. I'm gonna cry and sulk. Okay. Let's see... By the way, did somebody host me? Because this is an unusually large number of people watching right now. Welcome for those of you who are watching. I'm all in areas I haven't seen yet, so I'm sure this is going to be an absolute disaster in terms of skill. Sometimes it's fun to watch someone suffer. There's a lot of Crimson Court stuff showing up right now. I'm terrified that everybody's going to turn into vampires. I think I'm going to follow this strategy of Battle Ballad because I've got some pretty good damage dealers. Unfortunately, I'm going to have to double up the damage on select targets. So let's hit position 2 because that means my Musketeer can still do the trick. Alright, now that's a little unfortunate because the Musketeer can't take the front row. So almost certainly these two are going to heal up. The one thing I am reasonably happy with... God damn it. Now I'm going to regret not bringing that blood. Okay. Let's see what we can do.
A decisive pummeling.
There's really no good way of handling this. So basically the idea here is that I'm going to be taking out one of these two characters. I want to take the opportunity to heal up my leper, but this is going to mean that there's only going to be one enemy left in the front row, which means my musketeer can't take them. The leper presumably would be self-healing, and the jester can't attack a first position, which of course means that one of these things are going to heal themselves. Anyways, we'll do the pierce on the back row. Normally it would have been the front, except that I don't believe that those things leave corpses. Okay, well, the heal was worth it. We'll Inspiring Tune. I suppose one option I have is my musketeer can do the point-blank shot, but I don't think that's actually a good use of the skill.
A trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
I am slightly surprised that they did not move up on their satiation, but fair enough. Okay. So obviously we have a room fight, but we do get one for free. I'm not quite sure how close that brings us to our goal, but we'll see how it pans out. I mean, it's not a disaster as far as healing options are concerned, but it would be nice to focus on damage dealing where I can. Oh boy.
The way is lit. The path is clear.
I'm not getting rid of the food, and I'm too paranoid to get rid of my shovel right now. Oh, this is gonna be... This is gonna be unpleasant. It's not fully disaster level yet, but...
Precision.
Nice.
And power.
Not so nice. This is so lame, but I am going to do Serpent Sway. Just to... Basically, this is just to try and keep the number of people I need to be healing down. Okay, Jester's obviously a high priority heal. This guy can self-heal, so I'm a little less worried about that. Now, this is one of the few cases that Slice Off is actually, or Harvest in this case, is sensible against a skeleton. This is armor piercing, right? Yeah, so this makes sense. And clearly we need to get the Jester into fighting shape. Okay, getting lucky on the dodges. Ooh, okay. I'm happy about that. Again, as much armor piercing as we can on the big guy. And this is a pleasant surprise that I'm actually able to hit these two. And again, this normally the musketeer should just be raining death on the bone marksman here, but the circumstances I find myself in
The bigger the beast,
are a bit unique.
the greater the glory.
It would have been great if I could have got a crit on this guy, because then that would have rendered the marksman a little bit more impotent. In this case, though, I'm just going to accept. I mean, it's not.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
All of this is really desirable. I definitely have a higher priority for painting. So we'll switch out these busts. Thing is, I really need money, though. So, like, obviously you wouldn't want to switch out the emerald for the gold, other than the fact it's much more likely you're going to wind up with the 1250 more gold than you are with extra emeralds. If it were to be 750 in exchange for a bust, I would say the busts are worth it. But it's not that. It's, you know, the full value of whatever money you wind up getting. So I'm gonna select this on the possibility I wind up with another emerald. In reality, I kind of need them to be 3 emeralds to be worth more than the gold here. In reality, what I'm kind of doing is just sitting on this and seeing if maybe a better option's going to come up. I don't feel 100% comfortable with this, but I'm going to roll the dice on it. Nothing good can come of touching this, but I'm going to do it anyway. Yep, that was stupid. We've been getting kind of lucky in terms of getting bonuses from that. Well, I wanted pack space. Hey, we got a scouting. Okay. Well, I know what direction I'm going. Now I am slightly warmer to the prospect of... I probably should have got another hero to read that. I'm a little bit warmer to the prospect of leaving shovels behind now. Okay, we are, you know, it's still pretty remote, but it's possible we'll get our 3rd emerald, and it actually is
Arrows may indeed
worth it.
stalk these shadows, but yonder, a glint of gold.
Okay, still haven't completed the mission. Cool. It's definitely a brave move. Okay, now we are in good enough shape. Now, you know what? We'll take our gains. We got more than I thought I was going to get out of that.
We will find whatever secrets they hold.
So 2,700 and a big stack of heirlooms that we wanted. The 12 deeds was the reason I went in here, but obviously we wound up... So first of all, we have a surplus of crests, but it doesn't hurt to have a nice reserve because we've got a lot of stuff that'll need to upgrade it. But in terms of deeds, we got 18 out of that. The art, less exciting. I still think it was worth the trade-off in terms of the busts, and even then we still wound up with 12 busts. So overall that was a decent little run, and a bunch of people got level 4. Of course, we also got a bunch of disease. So wasting sickness for Scream, bulimic for Camerooni, and Collier became hard-skinned. And of course, we got a little something extra in the form of the blood.
Can you feel it? The walls between the sane world and that unplumbed dimension of delirium are tenuously thin here.
So it's a tough call whether or not I want to do another run for tonight. I think I'll try one more, but it'll probably be a short one. We're feeling a little more comfortable with money. Now let's just start by... Oh yeah, let's first of all see the review. I'm probably going to ignore the shards just because I've struggled a bit with the Color of Madness content. So Collier, Cameroonian, and Scream are up. Did I really not put anybody in stress relief? I suppose I didn't have a lot of money, so that would make sense. Okay, anyways. That's an easy review then. As is tradition, I usually deal with disease right away. They're also level 4, so there's a little bit less for me to worry about. Let's just kick these people out right away. This game's really pushing me to the farmstead. Okay, actually let's start by sorting by stress. Oh yeah, well, I mean, Scream's got the highest amount. I don't usually put people in stress relief for 3 pips. Alright, let's see what came in on the stagecoach. We did lose a plague doctor, so... And...
What better laboratory than the blood-soaked battlefield?
So we definitely have a lot of lepers. I actually have enough for like a low-level run through the different levels now. It is mildly tempting to try and do that. But before we go any further, we can upgrade a furnace. I think the guild's already been maxed out, yes, so... Very surprised you're still kicking... Yeah, wait a minute. Are you? Oh yes, no, Cecilia, you died. But we actually raised you from the dead. So you did... I believe you died this round, and... but we got an event which allowed us to bring you back, so... you came at exactly the right time. Alright, now, it probably would have been smarter for me... Oh, you know what? Nope, this still would have cost the same. So... No, that's an impressive grave robber, robbing themselves from their own grave. Good point. Okay, so guild, we've got everything that we need. Blacksmith, I've got enough crests. I need the deeds. Abbey, it's gonna be expensive. I'm gonna take it though.
A little hope, however desperate, is never without worth.
Alright, I'm gonna sit on that for now, and let's think about... Again, it's nice to have a large number of people watching, but I do also kind of need to mind my times. So this wheeled run is actually quite tempting because we don't have a boss unlocked. We get a fairly decent amount of money. And we get deeds. I just want to double check. It is deeds that I want, right? It is. Yeah, so that's actually a really attractive one, especially because we have sort of sustain with the fact that we've got a Vestal. Actually, this is a very attractive group. Okay, so before I go too crazy, let's pretend that this is the group that I'm bringing in. Let's just make sure everybody's got the right skills. So, apparently they got one of everything. They've got one of everything. Divine Grace I'm happy with. Divine Comfort might be kind of nice, compared to what? So I definitely want Judgment more than Divine Grace. Dazzling Light. Okay, so we'll replace Mace Bash with Divine Comfort. So Divine Comfort, Divine Grace, Dazzling Light, and Judgment. Okay, so nervous stab, festering vapors, get down, flash powder, fortifying vapors, invigorating vapors. This is, I keep forgetting that this has a back, and so it becomes actually very useful. Go for the invigorating vapors. I don't think I can upgrade any of these guys. Okay, I mean, it's not necessarily going to be a cakewalk, but this seems like a really good option for me right now. Seeing as I do actually want some of these, characters. More importantly, the Antiquarian allows me to take a lot more stuff. So we'll pack properly for this thing. I'm still going to skip the anti-venom and the bandages just because I sort of feel like we can head through it. And I think in this case I'm actually going to move... Well, after the fact I'm going to move the Vestal into the back row, so... Alright, have a good one, GNR. So I did say I wanted it to be a short run, but...
Now they are as twisted as my own ambitions.
This is supposed to be... Oh, okay. This doesn't seem like that frightening of a... I have no idea why I didn't use the skeleton key. Apparently I'm just so used to not having them in the inventory. I'll be honest with you, this does not actually seem like the hardest long run I could be doing. Before I go too nuts, let me make sure that the skills are where they need to be. I think Cure Blight. So the only reason I'm getting rid of poison darts is I think most of the stuff here is blight resistant.
Glittering gold.
But yeah, so we'll see how this goes.
Paid for in blood.
So it is tempting to start doing these fights so that I can get more of the blood, but nobody here has the Crimson Curse, so I'm gonna hold off for now. Right. Reign of Sorrows feels like a weak choice, right? No, actually, you know what? The Grave Robber might be able to do something with this.
Executed with impunity.
And we will do a judgment. Okay, wasn't enough to seal the deal.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope blossoms. Their formation is broken. Maintain the offensive.
Okay, let's see what we've got. So one of the things I want to try and lean in on this one here, I mean, we're doing all right for money, but of course we're also at a point where upgrading skills and gear is going to be one of the less... It's going to be the cheapest it's been in my runs. So one of the things I want to try and do on this long run, while I only need to explore 90% of rooms, I do want to maximize the opportunities to get money. I'm going to try and distribute as much as the damage that wasn't worth it.
Back to the pit.
Anyways, I want to try and maximize the number of opportunities to raise cash. And again, that just happens to be because I have the Antiquarian in the crew. Alright. See, normally I'd take this... So the thing is, I've got 2 reasonably good damage dealers that'll probably move before the maggot here, so normally I would have used this as a healing opportunity, but the Flagellant is the one person I kind of want to have a little bit of damage on them because they become quite a bit more powerful.
Be wary. Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Alright, so I was probably going to go here no matter what, but especially because there's a treasure battle. That's worth it in my view. Map's lucky. It would have been nice to see what's in here, but this is a... At least as far as the start is concerned here, this is a pretty forgiving run. Mind you, it could also just be because I've got like a low... It's a low-level run that I'm on right now. And I've kind of forgotten what it's like not to be just constantly pummeled by the game. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to get the Antiquarian... get them to attack position 2. The reason being... I suspect the Sycophant is going to jump ahead with their attack, so the flashing daggers should be attacking the Supplicant when the time comes. So I'm debating whether I want to do the rain on this end. We'll do the judgment.
Confidence surges
paid
as
off.
the enemy crumbles.
There isn't the reason to do Rain of Sorrows anymore, though, so let's take the Sycophant because they can heal. And then I can try and maybe get the Antiquarian to clean them up. Looks like they're healing no matter what.
Impressive.
So the reason I didn't do more damage to the Sycophant is just because the Flagellant is one of my primary damage dealers, so I want to try and... If I can't take out a character, I at least want to make it so it's easy for someone to clean them up. So essentially what's going to happen here, Sycophant will take 4 damage on its next turn, so this is a prime target for the Antiquarian to take out. This guy's dead no matter what on his next round, so here I want to be maximizing the damage on the Supplicant. They've got 20 prots, so I'm assuming here... oh, I thought it would have told me the damage. So minus 15%, minus 10%, and they're not blighted. So yeah, I think the Pick to the Face... Oh, Pick to the Face doesn't work in this case. Never mind.
Slowly, gently. This is how a life is taken.
Alright, that's a little unlucky. I will admit I am slightly more nervous about the Supplicant, and they also still have a move, so I will do the judgment on them, and I'm going to hope that I get at least one character to attack the Sycophant before next round. And it paid off. Alright, Antiquarian does not get kicked out of the party.
Death. Unforeseen. Unforgiving.
Alright, so I was kind of hoping that I was going to be able to take out 2 with flashing daggers, but it turns out that that didn't happen. So the thing is, there's no point in attacking these back 2 rows now. Unfortunately, this is a self, so there's nothing I can do about the Blight here except for the Anti-Venom. I think the Anti-Venom makes a lot more sense for the Antiquarian here. So... question is, does the Pick to the Face do more, or does the Thrown Dagger do more? Big pick to the face on the front row. No, didn't turn out. So, my usual preference would be to try and go on the offensive here, but I'm probably not going to get too many opportunities to heal the Antiquarian, so I'll... The thing is, I always feel like the game tends to punish cautious behavior. What are we looking at? Okay, so he's done. And we will do a nice pick to the face. So basically, these guys are going to self-destruct, and hopefully I get a turn to heal folks. I do.
The blood pumps. The limbs obey.
Is there anything fancy that he can do? Not really.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
I know there's fortifying vapors, which I didn't equip for some reason.
Trifling victory, but a victory nonetheless.
All right, let's ditch the bandages, and apparently for some reason, forgot to do the anti-venom, so I can still afford the bandages. I don't have any skeleton keys, but whatever. Oh, it's unlocked. That's right.
A handsome reward for a task well performed.
I think it's very likely I'm going to drop one of these bundles of firewood, but I don't think there's any point in dumping it now. One thing about the way I'm using the Flagellant, like, obviously this isn't a character that's just immortal, but given the fact that I've got sort of uneven healing, I'm sort of okay letting this guy run down a little bit. Ah!
Elements of survival cannot be met on an empty stomach.
I graced the left click on my way to hitting the eat.
Finding the stuff is only the first test. Now it
That's
must be
fine. I'm
carried
just...
home.
This is an artificial increase of the difficulty. I should have reconsidered that, actually, because I was going to do a flashing daggers. Well, we can still make this happen. Because they're surprised. I'm still going to do a judgment because obviously death is the best form of damage mitigation. I just would have preferred to have done more on the madman.
Festering fear consumes the mind.
Okay, this is the character I'd actually prefer to have the bleed. Not the bravest choice, but... This guy's always a pain to get rid of.
A dizzying blow to body and brain.
So 4 damage a round, so I've got 2 rounds of this nonsense. I don't like that, so... Oof! I need to consider healing this character soon. Alright, so the hope here, of course, is that my characters are going to get some extra turns. I'm really just using this as an excuse to get as much healing done as I can, because this guy's gonna basically automatically die. Alright. I was really hoping I'd be able to do something with the Vestal, but...
Seize this momentum. Push on to the task's end.
I'm still mad that I didn't eat my food. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to let the torch run a little low, and then we'll camp. Yeah, I said I was going to let the torch run low, and I meant it. Run low, and I meant it. And again, it is an explore 90% of rooms, so we've had a... I mean, we still have a bit of a run ahead of us, but we've done reasonably well for ourselves so far. Alright, so... Hello, the Eyes of Sin. How are you doing? I wasn't sure if I was gonna get a chance to see you tonight. Oh wow, they're just showing everything. Alright, so we have exactly the right number of shovels. I believe I could complete this without doing either of the fights. But the thing is, I actually want to do the fights because I get stuff from them. So I think we'll do this fight, move up here, camp, move ahead to these 3 battles. We'll see where we're sitting after that, because we basically have more or less smooth sailing, and then we'll decide whether or not we want to do another campfire before the treasure battle. Still in a bit of pain, but a little bit better. Not going to be too chatty, but you will be listening in. I am very happy to hear that. I'm obviously sorry to hear that you're still in a bit of pain. But obviously... I don't know. I was very happy that you got in touch to let me know how you were doing. Obviously felt bad for not making you feel better this afternoon, but I'm glad that you're feeling well enough to enjoy the cast. So, for those of you who don't know her, the Eyes of Sin is responsible for these lovely emotes, which are currently half off if you haven't subscribed to the channel before. No, but the Eyes of Sin is an incredibly talented artist who did a great job. My favorite emote out of those was one that she did basically without any prompting. And I'm still incredibly fond of it. Not just because it's my emote, but I just thought she did such a wonderful job of it. So I always like getting an opportunity to sing her praises for that. Okay, thing is, I don't actually worry too much about the fungal scratchers because they don't have any way of marking me. The only way I get marked is if I want my antiquarian to betray me. So in this case, we're doing 3 damage around. Let's see if we can... Alright, nice. So Acolyte is no longer a problem. This means that healing for everyone. What I'm going to do is I'm going to heal the other party members first, and then we'll just rain judgment down on the... Alright, well, now I need to worry about the fungus. This thing's probably got a high blight, yeah. Anyways, so the plan's going to be to heal the rest of the party, and then just judgment everything down. Oh, crap. I keep forgetting judgment can't affect the... Wait, is the front row or the... Oh no, it affects everything. May not have the opportunity though. I'll take a quick hit on the Antiquarian. Thing is, I can use Judgment anywhere, so if I don't get to use it on the Fungal Scratcher, it's not the end of the world. Alright, well, we get a little healing in. Actually, it would have been smarter if I used the Divine Grace, because obviously the thing was going to die to bleed anyway.
And driven into the mud.
Oh well. I think I said I was going to camp here, right? There's less of a reason for me to do so, but my pack is getting a little full. You know what?
A moment of respite. A chance to steel oneself against the coming horrors.
The one oh, you know what? Pray... Nope. Sanctuary. Okay, Sanctuary will save me, but I was just gonna say I might have set myself up for a brutal ambush. Okay, what else do we have? Did he get diseased? No. +3 speed's not the end of the world. Random trinket would be nice, but I actually don't have that much space. Okay, so let's say Flagellant, and let's just heal whatever stress we can. So that's a self only, so pep talks all around. I'm out of pep talks. Alright, then I probably should have thought this through a little bit better. I mean, a random supply item wouldn't be the end of the world. Now we'll go for trinkets. Hey, something for the grave robber. Not that I'm using any blight abilities. Your character's still alive, by the way, Sid.
May we find victory.
They've been benched for a little while because they're a bit too high level for everyone else. Oh! I thought I was in the other room. Especially with these guys showing up, it actually would have been better for me to do that later. Alright, well, that's annoying, but not the end of the world. Let's try and maximize the damage to the person bleeding. Okay, they're done for, so we will do a judgment on position 2. So because he's going to die to bleed, this means flashing daggers will be affecting the other... Oh, it's the gatekeeper. My bad. So flashing daggers will be affecting the 2 fresh characters. I've definitely let my stress run away, though. And the game knows it. So it's hard to argue for... It's hard to argue for Reign of Sorrow right now. I'm gonna leave the Antiquarian to deal with the Supplicant. The only problem with that is that the Gatekeeper winds up being able to cause more stress, so hopefully the Judgment will do the trick. It fails to do anything. Alright, I'm kind of lucky that it didn't do the Thirst. Actually didn't want that thing to work, as it turns out. I think Divine Comfort's kind of dumb to do here, so... Yes, it heals the grave... Oh, it heals the grave robber, but... I think it...
Remind yourself that overconfidence
I do
is a
kind of
slow and
want
insidious killer.
the blood. I know that I'm going to need... Okay, let's get rid of the bandages. I definitely know I'm going to need the shovels. I don't really need invitations, but I also sort of feel it's not the worst thing in the world to hoard those. I definitely don't need another shovel. Do I want a citrine, though? We'll go for full risk.
A singular strike.
What's he ticking at? 3. So again, this is just trying to inflict the fatality when I can. So this guy is also for 3. I don't think Judgment's going to do enough, but you never know. It's close. It'll be down to 1, but... Again, the hope on most of this stuff is just to be able to take the guys off before they... yikes.
Waits for the slightest lapse.
Now I regret getting rid of those bandages. But yeah, so the hope on some of this stuff is just to be able to take the people out before the before they're able to do damage. Doesn't always work, obviously.
A decisive pummeling.
I'm kind of hoping that the Vestal moves before the Antiquarian. Well,
And
that didn't
now
work.
the true test. Hold fast or expire.
The real problem here is they're bleeding. I'll do the get down just to try and buy them a little time. So the problem here is they got the mortality debuff, despite the fact I know I'm going to be able to heal them. Is there any way I can, like, tap them? Alright, against my better judgment, I'm actually going to try and sort of filibuster this a bit. That's not going to work. I was really hoping to get another opportunity to make the Antiquarian to give him another heal.
A trick of the light.
I suppose we'll have an opportunity when the treasure room fight comes up, but they might also be... They're definitely going to be in trouble. Now this is a dilemma, because the ectoplasm winds up generating more enemies, and the cultist acolytes are going to be able to cause me a lot of stress damage. I'm going to focus on the ectoplasm, though. Okay, so this thing's dead. I don't like doing this, but I kind of have to, so pick the face to the ectoplasm. And we'll nervous stab this to get rid of it. Okay, we accomplished what we wanted to on this round, which was to get the Antiquarian to a place of safety and to take out the 2 ectoplasm. The rest of this is just going to be dealing with the with sort of the torch and stress damage. The fact of the matter is somebody getting a negative quirk for the duration of the run is a little less scary to me than potentially losing the Antiquarian or winding up with another enemy. So it's sort of a... It's more just kind of finding the balance of the risks. Yeah, Rob Stark. I'm ashamed to admit I have not... This is about as far as I've ever gotten inside of the game. I've actually had the game since early access, but I've always had sort of an excuse to play something else. But it is a truly wonderful game, and it's we've been talking about it quite a bit. Where it's really a game where if you were to sit down and quantify everything about it, it's actually a very simple game in the sense of it's very narrowly focused. but again, we knew that was coming. So now the drawback here is that because one of these people is now basically one person's hit stress 100, almost certainly we're going to wind up with 2 other people with a negative quirk. But yeah. Anyways, if you actually sit down and like count the number of times that you see certain art assets used again, or the number, basically, they're able to really effectively use the assets that they have, and it doesn't matter at all, because it's so good at building an atmosphere that where people... I know, like, there's some people who like to talk about sort of AAA-ish style games, and they always complain when they see something that they recognize from before. AAA games are great at doing this, by the way. I actually think that they're kind of being a little... I think they're being a little spoiled in terms of the way that they talk about this stuff. But, the more I look at The Darkest Dungeon, the more I really appreciate how they've done something really impressive, so... Alright, what I'm going to try and do here is sort of delay things out. So the Cultist Acolytes already made their move, and everybody else has a move, so we're going to do the buff here. Now, Rain of Sorrows shouldn't kill them, but it will obviously stack up the damage. I'm feeling a little less lucky about any potential heals. Oh, okay. Well, I should stop being so pessimistic.
Compassion is a rarity in the fevered pitch of battle.
Again, we already know that the Acolyte's going to die next round, so if we can potentially get another heal off, so much the better. Well, no, we can still do the absurd move. Okay.
This expedition
now I need to
promises success.
Rebuild the group. It'll be interesting. Yes, I'm very curious about what they do for Darkest Dungeon 2. Okay. I think you can use the shovel to break these things open. So, I was terrified that I went a shovel too far. I was mildly tempted to try camping now, but I think instead I'm gonna reignite the torch. We'll see how far we can get before I need the next run.
Nature herself, a victim to the spreading corruption. Malformed.
I'm just going to completely ignore these things. One, I don't want the Crimson Curse. Number two, I am a little less certain about my ability to heal up. Okay, surprised is nice. So, Rain of Sorrows, and I'm going to prep this one for Flashing Daggers. Or would have. You know what? Actually, the Blight makes a lot more sense in this particular case. I keep forgetting to use it. I think Judgment makes more sense in this case. Obviously I want to heal the Antiquarian, but being able to take out an enemy is a little more important to me. One argument to camping that I was considering but didn't say aloud was to try and reduce some of the stress, but the fact of the matter is I'm probably going to use buffs anyway. I don't fear... Like, if I felt that I was getting close to a heart attack, I'd probably fear the stress a little bit more, but I kind of feel like the stress is inevitable at this point.
Precision and power.
Jesus. Let's see if we can tilt this one over the edge. No! Apparently they're only good at hitting their own people. This thing's doing 3 damage around. Let's just put them out of their misery. Is there any word, by the way? I know they did a teaser trailer, but is there any indication in terms of what some of the changes in the new Darkest Dungeon is going to be, or is it just speculation at this point? I really want to do a judgment, but I think the Vestal needs to actually start doing the thing I brought her for. Yes, this is fine. I think it's pretty unlikely that the Vestal's going to get their heal, but I'm going to do the get down, seeing as they're already in position 4. Again, I'm just going to try and abuse the tempo. Hey, it worked. Okay. Oh, it really worked. Alright, well. I can't complain about how that went.
These nightmarish creatures can be felled. They can be beaten.
I can never remember if you were allowed to keep this open when you camp. I'm gonna try. You can, cool.
Huddled together, furtive and vulnerable.
Now, I may regret this because we could
Rats
wind
in a
up with a
maze.
stack of what? There we go. We may actually wind up with a couple of extra hunger, and then I will regret doing this. But okay, so let's do some pep talks on my my Vestal. Grave Robbers doing well for themselves. Obviously, we don't want to get rid of the shovels. Might as well. Oh, I won't complain about it getting a torch either.
The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
Okay, we'll see if that camp was a good idea. I don't think it's credible for me to get 2,500 worth of citrines. It's possible, but unlikely. Yeah, well, so much for that effort to get the stress fixed. So again, all of this is prep for flashing daggers. Not quite enough. I can actually use them for a judgment this time. I've been so used to getting them support everybody, getting them to support everybody else. And to my slight surprise, I'm actually able to start working on the fungal scratchers right away. I probably should have focused down on one. It's just I saw the reduction to bleed resist and I lost my mind. Okay, so we'll get a little supplementary healing in, but we should be okay. Whew, okay, maybe we won't get some supplementary healing in. Again, I'm just gonna try and get the tempo if I can. It paid off this time.
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
I can't imagine a situation where, like, this is kind of the bird in the hand, two in the bush case. There is a possibility where this key will get me more than what I have in my inventory right now. Probably the Viscount's Invitation would be the prime candidate to throw away, but I don't feel comfortable doing that. So I'm kind of volunteering for pain here, but it's mostly because I know there's a curio coming up, which means I basically get more goodies. Now, I'll be honest, I would have preferred not to run into people like this, but let's employ the same reasoning as before. The ectoplasm's got to go first because it can generate more bad guys. Face. All right. Well, that's unfortunate. Let's say Dazzling Light actually makes... Nope, it would have made more sense, except that I can never attack the back row, and I always forget that. Okay, there's no way they're going to be able to take them out this round, but... So the hope was to stun this character and prevent what was going to happen to them, but that didn't work. So this is setting up so that I can do the Throne Dagger, and then the Flagellant does the rest. Again, presumably it's not going to be enough to take them out, but hey, never mind. I was going to use Judgment to finish them off, but that was unnecessary. Deeds are very important to me, but everything else is important to me too. This is more so that I can have the charm rather than I particularly wanted on this character. 750 gold's really nice, but you can't buy deeds, so... And I think I am going to keep the invitations and the blood, so... I should probably be taking care of my torch, sorry.
As the light gains purchase, spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
Alright, now I am getting a bit nervous. Oh, okay. That was very welcome food. Of course, now I'm going to feel like a bozo, because that's another set of emeralds that I could have added to the stack. But again, I really can't justify dropping any of this stuff. I already made my decision on the emerald, and there's no point in behaving as if I can get it back into my inventory. Now, much like when I refused to eat, I have this who just followed? Sorry, I can never read my menu now that I've got this new one. It's Cocktosin. Thank you very much for the follow. I have this terrible habit of hitting ignore instead of shovel or clear the obstacle by hand. In this case, especially because I've already accidentally refused to eat once, I'm a little more conscious about hitting the button. Okay, well, I'll accept going back for a secret door.
The sparkle
Well, that was unexpected.
Twisted and made merciless.
Sorry, I'm just trying to think through how this is going to turn out. This will potentially harm me for the future, for like the rest of the run. But I think we can probably get enough ticking damage on him to. Nope. I was kind of hoping I'd be able to hit him with Punish, but. So the problem is I don't have a lot of back row. So let's do what we can, but this is going to be a bit harder than I thought. Probably due for another madness. I'm a little lucky that the Vestal's in the front row.
Those who covet injury find it in no short supply.
What are we at? 36. Okay, they're only so slightly above half health. I think we just power through the bleed and keep the judgment coming. So yeah, I mean, the party serves me reasonably. Holy smokes!
Balanced.
Fortunately, they can get rid of bleed, but Christ Almighty! Yeah, this can go south very quickly. So the the party served me reasonably well up to this point, but this is a perfect example of how it can all fall apart. With the wrong set of circumstances. I really didn't want that to happen. So that's two people with mortality debuffs. Oh no! Okay. Oh, Jesus Christ. I really needed to cure that bleed. 14 to... Oh, still not enough. Okay, hopefully this will do the trick. I genuinely hope I'm able to get the Vestal to... No!
Is often blind to its own peril. The way is lit. The path is clear. We require only the strength to follow it.
This is gonna suck.
Perched at the very precipice of oblivion.
It used to be going well. Alright, so obviously we're gonna starve if it comes down to it. So now that the bleed's gone, we'll eat the 3 food just to get them on their feet. What have we got? There's an argument to get rid of the shovel. Yeah, so there's an argument to get rid of the shovel now because the obviously we're going to be getting loot. Against my better judgment, I am actually going to continue adventuring because the number of risks that I'm facing right now are a bit lower than you might think. So got here? 85, 40 for... I'm pretty sure the grave group, yeah. Of course.
Mind that such missteps are the
so that's
exception
6 damage.
and
Okay,
not
so
the
this...
rule.
Yeah. We're still going to go ahead to check out the...
Injury and despondence set the stage for
old
heroism
tree.
or cowardice.
But the original intentions that I had in terms of pushing ahead to get more loot, that just got invalidated by the fact that my grave robber's potentially going to die, and I don't really want to have that happen. So, quest complete.
Paths and roads bring soldiers and supplies. Let them arrive unharried.
So again, the main point on this one was to get the 9 deeds and the 7,500 gold. Of course, we brought the antiquarian, so we got a little bit more than that. If the collector didn't show up, we probably would have cleared that place out, but it is hard to say that that was a... I mean, there's stuff that could have gone better on that run, but it's really hard to say that this went badly for me. Alright. It's still going to be a little tricky to get these people up to speed, but...
There is a great horror beneath the manor. A crawling chaos that must be destroyed.
Alright, as much as... Actually, it's always nice to have a reasonably large number of people watching, but I do need to go to bed. So what we'll do is we'll do one last pass on the hamlet. We'll do a quick recap, especially for the folks that weren't here to watch the fates of some of our followers. We'll maybe set up for what next week will look like, and we'll call it a day. So, Sanitarium. Cameruni underwent effective disease treatment, cured bulimic. Same with Scream, and fixed the wasting sickness. Ren has controlled the urges of the Crimson Curse, and we leveled up a pair of heroes, Antiquarian Vestal. I don't think we've ever had this much gold in the treasury, so that's nice. Now, at some point, I'm going to need to heal all this. Actually, you know what? Let's just... unless there's some... No, even if there's something really exciting, there's no... absolutely no justification for putting people like this in the... into the fray. So I think the guild is at 100%. Can we upgrade the blacksmith yet? Ugh! Now I'm regretting getting those, selling off those crescents.
I would never want to belong to any club that would have someone like me.
Who did that? 93 Rithi. Thank you very much for that follow. So... really tempting to do this. I can't justify it though. I mean, maybe the... Yeah, actually... So what do I need? I need 7. I'm sure I'm going to regret this later, but...
Fan the flames, mold the metal. We are raising an army.
Okay, so the reason why I did that is I have been scraping by with such just this incredibly short treasury. And I'm going to need to upgrade the armor for a lot of my heroes soon. I've actually been delaying that. So given the fact that I've got a reasonably fat treasury, being able to get to sort of the maximum reduction in terms of armor upgrades and that is going to stretch this as long as I possibly can. So, alright, that's taken care of. Next up, there's not really any more Hamlet upgrades I can do at the moment. So... let's prepare for the next journey. Again, there's no reason for the level 1 characters to be going in there. So we'll sort by level. This seems to me to be a upgrade level 3 people sort of run. So what are we looking at? So the Cove, we can get some... Oh yeah, here's a better way of looking at this. What is the next thing that I want to upgrade? So Guild's at 100%. Blacksmith is at 100%. One argument would be to improve the stagecoach, which would... Ah, hello! I would have loved to have brought a veteran antiquarian in, so there is a fairly decent argument for me saying I should kick out this one. Alternatively, I can kick out one of the... Like, I've got 3 or 4 lepers inside of the hamlet. Thing is, it actually makes more sense to kick out this antiquarian, because it's sort of... It basically... strictly dominated, and what this will mean is that there's 4 people who are going to be leveling up through the... to get to sort of 2 and 3. So, with apologies, we didn't name this after a follower,
Send
so...
this one to journey elsewhere, for we have need of sterner stock.
Obviously, it would have been nice to just upgrade the hero barracks, but we're not going to get 25 deeds and 26 crests, so we take advantage of what we have. Okay. At some point, I'm going to have to consider the stress and whatnot. So, I do use my sanitarium a lot. So that one would be busts. I think we also need busts for the abbey. And then the tavern would be paintings. I do kind of feel like the stagecoach is still the sort of thing that I want to do the upgrades on the most. So I do think I'm going to do a light preference towards deeds, but it's not going to be as strong as it used to. Be. So, let's deal with my... Let's deal with my stressed out people first. I'm not going to use the level 4s. Okay. Again, I don't usually heal stress for the 3 pips. Okay, so saying that I have a light preference for deeds, so I can explore 90% of rooms and get some paintings, which is a little tempting. Recovering 8 lost trinkets sounds wonderful. I just think I'm going to get my ass kicked if I go here. I could prepare myself for another run at the Miller, because I think we are a lot better positioned to come after this guy, especially with the... so given what I know of that fight, I kind of feel like I would be able to take sort of this group and do a little bit more with it. So that's a possibility. The thing is, we only get crests out of that. Well, we also get crests out of this. And a fancy musketeer hat. Okay, it looks like it's it's crests everywhere except for... You know what? I did say I was going to finish. I think I'm going to do one more because it's medium and it's gathering 3 holy relics and we get a bonus. So I'm not going to promise that I'll finish it, but I'm actually feeling really tempted. Okay. So part of this is going to be to try and get some more level 4s. So we'll bring Chia. Now that's going to mean that I have to bring some blood just in case. It'd be nice to bring another antiquarian because then we'll be rich beyond our wildest dreams. I don't think I have any good healers in line, so I kind of want to keep that in mind. Mind you, self-heal. Maybe we'll go from Protect Me to Fortifying Vapors and get down in favor of Festering Vapors. It's the ruins, so Blight is not unwelcome. Okay, so we need people for the front lines. I think Kite might be a good character here. They definitely do some heavy hits. And Cecilia, back from the dead, or Bouchier. So the problem with this one is it's pretty bleed heavy in a place where there's going to be lots of skeletons. So let's say Cecilia is at the top. Now, we got that money for a reason, so let's see if we can outfit people. I remember when that used to cost me an arm and a leg. Alright, so we'll go to the guild. Just gonna double check some of these others. I mean, they're tempting. I think I will upgrade Mark for Death just because I can. Okay, Cecilia needs everything. Not too crazy about Shadow Fade, to be honest, so let's say Poison Darts in this case. I don't want to do Lunge, and Toxin Trickery is kind of nice, but I don't want to, like, I don't want to just completely sell everything. Alright, I'm feeling reasonably good about this. So yes, I'm probably going to wind up doing another one despite the fact that I said I wasn't going to. So we will provision... Okay, I guess I'll equip you with goodies. I thought there was a position 1. I guess I already got rid of the position 1 one. I don't want to... Oh no, here we go. I mean, lesser virtue chance, but I can live with that. Higher stress versus lower healing received. I think we'll go for the Berserk Mask. It's... I feel a little nervous about that choice, but not... I don't know. I'll have to live with my bad decisions. Okay, I don't know if I have... Okay, this will actually be pretty good, especially given the Antiquarian. There should be a ranged... Yes. Okay. And Antiquarian. I think I had some Antiquarian-specific relics. Okay, bonus healing received, which they may or may not get. Bonus prot or... okay, maybe we'll get rid of the... I think I'll focus a little bit more on mitigating than healing. I don't actually want to be dedicating too many resources on keeping the Antiquarian alive. Okay, extra... This is a little... probably overdoing it, but... Let's see if we can wind up rich like the last time. And again, I'm going to skip the other details. Let's see how this works. It's been a while since I've had a named group, but then I haven't paid too much attention to that.
There is power in symbols. Collect the scattered scraps of faith and give comfort to the masses.
Okay. I don't have a clear plan on it. I mean, we're looking for the relics, so I don't think there's any real way of indicating where it's gonna go. I forgot to bring blood. Okay. If I find cocoons, I'm gonna have to take it, but that was so dumb of me. That was the whole reason I brought this person. They're not wasting yet, but... Okay, everybody's gonna get stressed out now.
Packs laden with loot are often low on supplies.
Alright, we can live with this. I just hope they have blood. Let's do Festering on the gate. Nope, that's right, they're good against Blight. It's just to even out the damage. Okay, so I'm going to collect bounty on the Supplicant. I'm assuming that they're going to leave a corpse, which is going to leave the flashing daggers for the... Never mind! I guess pick to the face then? Oh Christ, I kind of have to pick to the face now. This actually would have been the one time Shadow Fade would have helped me.
Their Their formation is broken.
So yeah, the one time I get
Maintain the offensive.
the one time I get the crit that I don't want.
As the fiend falls, a faint hope
And
blossoms.
unfortunately, we didn't get any blood. So the whole point of getting that cocoon is lost. Again, Hugh to... I mean, I kind of Hugh by default, but it's also nice for taking out the shadow. I think we'll nervous stab the stress inducer. I believe the bounty hunter gets a bonus against human. Well, it doesn't matter. There's pull, and they'll probably get yanked to the front. There we go. I forgot to change the... Ah, that's right. In this case, we will do the shadow fade.
Confidence surges as the enemy crumbles.
Okay, that's... So because I don't have a really good way of getting this guy in the back, I'm actually going to yank him forward. And then that should free him up for everybody else's jobs. So of course, I'm not actually getting the advantage from Blight because I haven't been using that Blight ability yet. Pretty sure you're not going to be able to get blood from that guy, but you do you. Well, at least his attacks will be weakened. Jesus Christ.
Continue the onslaught. Destroy them all.
Okay, let's think about where we're at. Sorry, there was something I was meaning to do, but... Right, reorganizing the skills. Invigorating... Okay, this is where I want it to be. I think... What was I going to do? So Shadow Fade actually wound up working for me here, but Poison Darts makes slightly more sense. Right, we have what we want here, and... Yeah, I'm pretty sure we... Okay, I'm feeling a bit better about that. Again, the hope is that we find some blood, but I'm not optimistic.
The way
If
is
we can
lit,
avoid getting
the
to
path is
wasting, that
clear.
would be nice, but
We require only the strength to follow it.
I'm pretty sure that we're going to get to wasting before the end of this.
A handsome reward for a
We'll
task well performed.
ditch the herbs. I kind of want to get rid of the Spearman, but it's actually one of my harder targets. So we'll do a Festering Vapors on him just so that the Grave Robber can get a bonus. As for the rest of it, I think we're just going to do some pretty standard attacks.
Annihilated.
It does make my Hue slightly less useful.
Press this
Cool.
advantage. Give them no quarter.
That accomplished what it was supposed to. Of course, the Marksman's going to be able to do a best reply, but... The thing is, I actually need to be a little more careful about that sort of stuff because I don't have any heals. So we'll Festering Vapors the Bulwark because they're in position for the Graveyard, or the Grave Robber to do their thing. So I am reasonably happy that this character's getting it in the throat. That was slightly less dramatic than last time.
Great is the weapon that cuts on its own.
This is partially hoping that the leper will be able to heal. No, didn't work. Onward. I don't think this actually tells us anything about the artifacts, though. I think the best we can hope for is that we find like a curio or something. Anything clever I can do with for the citrine? There isn't a great argument for me getting rid of the skeleton key, but I'm going to do it. I don't know if I'm just not seeing these traps or they're not showing up on the map, but I'm feeling like a moron every time I walk on them. Okay, so 250 each versus the gold, which will turn into a stack of 2,500. I think on the balance of probabilities, I'm going to go for the gold. It's like the one time I've wanted to see cocoons.
Festering fear consumes the mind.
I'm most likely going to use flashing daggers, so in that case, festering vapors on the madman seems the best option. I did forget that I do have... yeah, I mean... So actually the tough call is whether I want to do the single target or the flashing daggers. I think in this case the frothing madman is enough of an annoyance that I want to focus the dagger on them. Alright, wasting is no bueno. But there's nothing I can do about it because I was an idiot and didn't pack blood. Incidentally, I know I'm going to be really annoying asking this, but for those who might know, if anybody in chat knows how to get fmod 1.06.07, I've actually wanted to do a mod for not Cultist Simulator, for Darkest Dungeon, specifically with the audio. And currently I'm not able to because it seems like that version is no longer available on the fmod website. But if any of you happen to know that, I would be very grateful for the information.
Slowly, gently. This is how
There's kind of an argument for me to do a fortifying vapors to heal people instead, seeing as a Hugh should take care of these guys, but... Well, they've already taken their actions, so... I'm gonna do a solemnity here. I know they don't have ticking damage, but I'm reasonably convinced that we're gonna be able to take them out before they become a problem. Well, stress damage, but... Book of Holiness.
But a victory.
Lower stress, but not good at death blows, and I do actually want crests. So,
the light. The
goodbye
promise
torches.
Of safety.
I'm not confident enough to get rid of the shovels. Thing is, I don't really know if an uncommon book like this is worth the 3 jade. I think I'm gonna skip it. I've been poor once before, and I never want to be poor again. We're gonna target the noble. Again, that's a stress resist thing. targeting the marksman just because I wasn't able to get the guy in the back. Thrown dagger should help, though.
Decimated. Ringing ears.
Okay, not my favorite moment, but we should be able to heal that character. Figure fortifying on themselves is probably the right call. So the marksman should be handled by the grave robber, and then if the Hugh doesn't take out both, at the very least, we'll just keep taking out the bulwark, and then of course the Hugh doesn't land, and my plans go out the window. So there's only one target I can go for here. This, of course, complicates everything. Probably should have healed him, if I'm completely honest.
Destroyed.
Seeing as the leper is capable of self-healing.
Seize this momentum.
Alright, now I did say that I needed
bust.
bust. So I guess we'll give up the jade after all. And again, like, I have the firewood. The thing is, I actually kind of want to use the firewood when I really need it, so... okay. The other thing, too, is that I'm going to need to find space in my pack for the holy relics at some point. So presumably one of these three curios is a cocoon. Whether or not it has blood is another question, but... we'll find out soon, I suppose. Oh, there's the cocoon. I think a festering vapors is the right call here.
Obliterated.
And then hopefully the dagger is the one that finishes off the noble. Cool.
Singular strike.
It's not guaranteed to work, but it is the sort of thing that basically, so the trick behind that, and I wish I was slightly better. So the problem is that I always feel like I wind up being this really repetitive pest. But the point of that specific order, usually when I go quiet and I sort of seem to be going through the motions on that stuff, it's because I have a little bit of a pattern in terms of saying, okay, when you're going up against something like the human gladiator, and they're going to do, I can't remember the name of the ability. It's the one that inflicts bleed. They move forward one. Similar with the mosquitoes. They move forward one. So you can never I don't think, at least, you can predict exactly how people are going to move, but you can make your best guess in terms of where things are going to be. So in this case, the idea is to try and set things up for a Hugh, because that's sort of my primary damage dealer. And then whatever one isn't going to be hit by the Hugh has a blight on it, so the long reach of the grave robber can go in. And if that hasn't been apparent, that's basically been the pattern that I try to apply each time. I'm not always successful at doing it, and then crits actually wind up being something that I don't always want in those situations, because crits don't leave corpses, and then all the positions get messed up.
Really a trick of the light?
But, you know, it's kind of hard to turn around and say, oh, you know, I really don't want to crit. You know, that would be the worst thing that could happen to me, right? So, anyways, clearly I want that rare antique. I also kind of want those crests, though. Okay, so goodbye invitation. Antique for sure. I think it's a lot more likely that we're going to find onyx. But obviously if we find another ruby, that's great. And then of course I'm going to have to make some Sophie's choice in terms of like what I drop for when I find the holy relics, but we'll worry about that later. Speaking of holy relics. Alright, there's really no good order here. So the hope here is the Hue sort of slaps them down. I wasn't able to blight them, so it doesn't really matter. Actually, it might have been made more sense to do the flashing daggers. I think I wanted to improve the damage that I did on the chance I could take out the Supplicant, but... I forgot about that ability. Alright, that's really annoying that he's just got 1 health. Hopefully... Okay, no, the Nervous Stab helps me here. I was going to use the Bounty Hunter on that, but there's a chance that he could have healed. Speaking of healing... Okay, so normally I would have done a Solemnity here, but the fact that this... Oh no, the Sycophant hasn't actually made its move, so this is the perfect time to do a heal. And then, again... taking something off the board is the best form of damage mitigation. I have no idea what I'm going to do if I don't find blood this time, though. Let's do a Festering Vapors to set that up for the Grave Robber. Alright, that's less exciting. Ooh, okay, I was hoping that he would do a chop. Anyways, we'll work with what we got. Well, I got my rubies, but I didn't get my blood. Now we've got a big decision to make. So, I don't want to lose any of this stuff, to be completely honest. This is a huge risk that I'm ditching the shovels, but I don't actually see anything on the map. I think this will be the place I make camp. I think Festering Vapors on the Bone Commander. Because the combination of Pick to the Face and the... It's going to be the combination of Pick to the Face and for the armor penetration, plus the damage bonus for the Blight, and then of course my Leper's just going to be wailing on him. It does mean that the Spearman's going to get around though, so... That did not do nearly as much damage as I thought it would. This is definitely looking pretty dicey. Alright, so I'm thinking Fortifying Vapors on that guy. I'm a little worried that I'm not going to have enough heal from camping. Merciless. This guy's in trouble. I don't really have any good options here. I am tempted to stack up the Blight at this point. Because I don't think Pick to the Face is going to do enough to seal the deal. I am very lucky. see how long that luck lasts with my starving vampire, but...
Perched at the very precipice of oblivion.
This has every indication of something that will just go... It'll completely unravel at any moment.
Is a tenuous proposition in this sprawling tomb.
So, the reason that's so devastating and that is that that's actually my one reliable damage dealer. Thing is, we're also too holy relics away from finishing the mission, so
Never hidden.
it sucks that we lost Kite.
Monsters.
But the thing is, we're still probably going to come out ahead out of this.
Merit, unless inordinate exsanguination be considered a virtue.
We have probably set ourselves up for an ambush in the middle of the night, though.
And power.
Ah, yes.
Triumphant pride precipitates a dizzying fall.
Okay, here's what I'm going to do. We'll camp first.
Gathered close in tenuous firelight and uneasy companionship.
We'll take the wounding helmet, and I know I'm going to have to lose some of this stuff. Oh, can I not pick my... I was going to try and get him to eat a couple of food before I threw it away. I'm not crazy about the fact that I'm dumping this stuff, but I'll live with it. Okay, so wound care all around. There's no point in the scouting chant for the scouting stuff. We don't really need trinkets. Yeah, having Kite would have been helpful because it would have prevented nighttime ambush. If we get ambushed, I'm not quite sure what we do. We'll try a quick... Okay, I can live with that. Sure, just keep them coming. I'm not actually going to use them all, but...
As the
Okay,
light gains purchase,
got a little luck there.
spirits are lifted, and purpose is made clear.
All right. I'm actually going to try this side passage here. I don't know, it's mostly kind of wishful thinking if I'm completely honest, but... This is a really tough call here. I think I am going to do Fortifying Vapor. Not good. Okay, well... I knew who I want to take out next if I can't heal him. Ah, it's Rend for the Old Gods is what I was talking about. Anyways, Hugh is going to be hammering these guys, assuming that this guy doesn't bleed to death. I do at some point need to consider Solemnity, but not now.
Fatality clarified in a single strike.
Yeah, if we don't find this new relic soon, I'm not entirely sure we're going to be able to clear the dungeon. So maybe I should have gone for the... Okay, I'm going to do Solemnity just to...
Wounds of war can be healed.
If this guy falls, we're
Hidden.
done for, so... I really needed that to finish them off. It's not lost, but this is going to be a lot more of a tightrope than I really wanted it to be. Hey, Goshawk. It is... Holy crap, it's 3 in the morning. I should not have kept playing this.
Brought low and
But it's
driven
such
to
a
the
good
mud.
game. Okay, so I have 3 hunger that I can deal with here. So let's say 2 for you, 2 for you. Normally I ditch the torches for other goodies. I'm not going to do that in this case, though. There is kind of an argument for ditching the sapphire, though. Because it's even here with the gold. I think I am going to take the gold. So basically I know it's almost certain that I'm going to get the 2,500 gold. The problem is if I see another sapphire, I'm going to cry. But I may also have to, like, stop this mission instantly. Okay, so if that was a holy relic, I would basically would have ended the mission and gone on a new one to get this guy's blood. It's gonna be very, very sad if I lose this character because I forgot to hit the button. I did kind of say I had a mild preference for deeds, but do I have a mild preference for deeds in the sense of like ditching torches or something like that? Because if I ditch the torches, I'm gonna have to. Well, no. If I find a relic, then I just get rid of the food.
In Radiance, may we find victory.
There's always going to be another thing I want to take. I can't do it. Especially with this guy stressing everyone out over his blood. Alright, Fortifying Vapors makes more sense here.
Well struck.
I got extremely lucky there. I was originally really mad about that dodge, but I really want this Antiquarian to heal.
The wounds of war can be healed.
So yeah, I don't know, this whole decision to go down the side path, I probably should have taken a closer look at the curios, to be honest. I can never remember the difference. I'm going to try Throne Dagger on the edge here on the sincere hope. I don't think it's going to be enough to kill him, but
A devastating
I mean, it's a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
masterfully executed. Inspiration.
So this guy's already taken his round. In this case, it makes sense to do the Fortifying Vapors on the Grave Robber, and I just hope he doesn't move first. Cool. I would have tried another Fortifying Vapors, but that's kind of devastating if
As victories mount, so too will resistance.
if he gets a shot off. Obviously, the heal from Fortifying Vapors isn't going to be enough to mitigate something from a bayonet. It's 10:12 here in Finland. Yeah, this is the drawback of streaming at this hour is I give this weird impression of normally streaming at these times, but this almost always happens whenever I do Darkest Dungeon. I always say it's like, okay, this is the last dungeon, and then inevitably I run off and do a silly thing. I was really hopeful for a second there, and I'm like, wait, this is the one I've already been to, so... Hallelujah!
Measure could staunch the flow of otherworldly corruption.
Alright. I'm not crazy about losing the Bounty Hunter, but with the money we'll be getting from this and the deeds, it's also not the worst run that I've had. We're gonna do the same thing here and set up with Festering Vapors. Ugh. Yep. It's fun though. I mean, I'll be honest with you. Like, I've taken rather long breaks from Darkest Dungeon on stream, but it's a wonderful game. So it's one of these ones I'm definitely happy to keep working on. And I really worked myself into a corner here because obviously I've got the front two rows. I think. Essentially what I'm going to do here, I'm going to just let the corpses tick out on their own, and I'm just going to take the opportunity to heal where I can. It's not going to be great, but it does mean that my leper's finally going to be able to do a little bit of self-heal. Alright, Fortune smirks it.
A powerful blow.
I'm still gonna do Fortifying Vapors on the Grave Robber. And again, same idea. So like, I kind of havered about it in the back of my head when I saw those things fall. But the thing is that I'm really desperate for heals. So in this particular case here, it's going to take me at least 2 to take on the Bone Noble, and you know the likelihood of having the Grave Robber get a couple of good hits, that's not outside the realm of possibility. So, also, I mean, the decision not to take it the first round essentially means I kind of need to commit to the second. So, oh, all right. Like I said, I have been playing this fairly consistently, but I haven't actually seen the reinforcements before. I probably should have made a different decision then. Let's see then. Festering for the Stress Dealer. Alright, now it gets exciting.
Reeling, gasping, taken over the edge into madness.
Okay, back to the old pattern. I feel very strong after that. Remember how I said I was gonna cry if I got another set of sapphires?
Can be beaten. The match is struck. A blazing star is born.
I'm gonna take the money instead of the sapphires. This is almost certainly gonna cause some horrible bleed. No, never mind. Okay, so the odds that we get one of the holy relics are pretty good in this next round. So we have... Okay, I am not opening that thing.
Finding the stuff is only the first test.
Holy relic in
How
a
it
sack.
must be carried home.
One can hope. Hey, there it is. All right.
Wealth
So-
beyond measure. Awarded to the brave and the foolhardy alike.
That was not the best run, but like I said, it could have been worse. We came out with a pretty decent haul, and we didn't lose the leopard. Now, there's a reasonable question in terms of saying, you know, if I wasn't so freaking out so much about the blood, would I have still lost the bounty hunter? I suspect I probably would have, but I don't know. On balance,
Tokens of hope.
that was not the worst character
recovered
for me
from
to
the
lose.
encroaching dark.
And we, you know, we got a decent haul of gold. We got the deeds that we were looking. It was the only quest that would have given me deeds. We've got an extra 23,000 on top of it. We didn't get 3 sapphires, so it was still the right call to go for the stack of 2,500 gold. Believe it or not, we actually still need more crests, but we wound up with 12 deeds by the end of it. And 2 characters to level 4. So, sorry, Kite. And Healer's Gift, Unyielding, and Compulsive. Alright, so we will do a final debrief. Hey, thought I'd drop in. Hey, Don DW. I'm actually
not last.
wrapping up anyway, so it's a good time for you to stop by and say hi, so I can say bye. But like I said, we will do a quick recap of what happened, and we'll maybe talk a little bit about how we'll position ourselves for next week. But I am serious this time. Like, it's almost 3:30 now, so I do need to go to bed. The Abbey will be decorated for the duration of the event, and all are welcome to visit during the extended hours of All Saints' Day. So, first thing I'm going to do, let's just kick people out. Let's set ourselves up for dealing with stress. So, we don't have anybody with... Okay, nobody with a Crimson Curse is... So, I mean, normally I wouldn't have put these people in here, but they're... Well, Danvers? Maybe? Well, it doesn't cost me anything to kick him out of it, though, so... Definitely the level 4 people I want out of the party. I'm not likely to do anything with them. But yeah, so actually I do need some crests because I haven't done anything to the Survivalist. I haven't done anything to the Nomad Wagon. And then it is sort of the... So I finally got the Guild and the Blacksmith where I want them, but the crests are what have generally been holding me back in terms of doing more substantial upgrades. Obviously, like I said, I have a weak preference for deeds right now because we're at the higher levels of the stagecoach and whatnot, but... technically, if I wanted to use my busts, I could try and move up the transept, but again, that winds up eliminating my crests, which I kind of need for the thing I really want to upgrade, which is my stagecoach. With that in mind, so I mean, along a long run in the Warrens, that wouldn't be terrible. Crests aren't awful, and I'd get 7,500 gold for it. Thing is, I wouldn't have an antiquarian to bring along. I could go to the Cove, of course, then we would be potentially running into the thing from the stars. 3,000 gold, 2 busts. So the Weald is a little tempting because of the deeds. Less so... So both of them are 100% room battles. I kind of feel like the deeds are the more appealing reward right now. And it would clear a path to the boss. Looks like we are already on our way to the Necromancer Lord. Now, in terms of levels... Oh, actually we do have enough people. It'd be nice to have a Crusader for that, though. GNR/ will be pleased. I should probably try and take a crack at the Miller at some point again, too. But again, the reward's crests, so... I mean, theoretically, we could also try the Viscount, but I have a feeling that that's a really good way for me to lose a lot of money. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. I'm not 100% sure what... I'm not 100% sure what quest I want to go on. I don't really want to do any of the champion ones yet. So the most likely one would be cleansing the Weald for the deeds and a decent return on gold. And I do actually want to keep some of these level 4 characters because we still have the Cove and the Weald level 3 enemies to go after. So, maybe something like a Leopard, a Houndmaster. We'd have to ditch a healer, I think. Actually, I don't have that many level 3s anymore. Should be a little more careful about that. Anyways, clearly this is a decision I need to make when I'm not feeling tired. So, is there anything else I can do that's interesting for the rest of the evening? No, we'll just review the graveyard. So, a full accounting of my terrible mismanagement. Brond was the first to die on week 6, the apprentice jester who bled out. Reynold died against a bone soldier in week 11. Jamie Sam, that was a viewer, died on week 14 against a crocodilian. Valken was a leper who bled out. Captain Zerge, I actually found out that you can in fact die from not drinking the blood. He was in the Hamlet at the time, so he died on week 30. 31 was a particularly bad one because we lost Gand and Danvers to Blight. However, they're not named characters. Now, week 32 was particularly tragic because Johnny Big Time didn't just die, but died at the hand of an ally who was panicking, and Ed Baver was devoured by the crocodilian before we could run out. The next week, we lost an entire party. Eldobi bled out, and Kangrias, Vesky, and Kaylee all died to unsustainable stress. Roussel, again not a viewer, also died due to a heart attack from stress, along with Mandeville. That was week 39. Continuing in that fine tradition, Mo Travers. As you can see, none of the viewers wanted to wanted to be named after characters after my complete screw up with all of these stress deaths. Guillot, again on week 58, died due to unsustainable stress, and Mowbray, an adventurer Vestal, bled out on week 58. Ego Akaran died to a heart attack due to unsustainable stress, as did Casual Nothing and Mojo Storm. So this was last week, and that was due to the invasion of the Hamlet. That was the Wolf fight. And we were so close to taking out Wolf with a reasonably underpowered party. The thing is that while these were named characters from chat, this was actually not as devastating as it seemed to be, as you can see from the fact that we are actually quite a bit stronger than we were when we lost these people in the end. So, and this was really the story that we had for the rest of the stream. Tall Woman Alive, one of our oldest characters, died due to unsustainable stress. But we walked away with so much money from that. And similarly, week 66, the one that we just completed, Kite 260, beloved friend of the cast, unfortunately died. Now we're out of bounty hunters, which is a shame because they're really helpful against people. But the thing is again, like for this game, it doesn't actually matter so much if you lose... It doesn't really matter if you lose individual adventurers, because there's an unlimited supply. And the fact of the matter is I've got so much money from this stuff now, and it's never been cheaper to upgrade them, that even the investments that I'm making inside of the heroes aren't necessarily that much. What pisses me off more at this point is the fact that I have to give up a slot for loot to pick up their trinkets. So things are looking alright. As far as tasks that we need to complete, like I said, we're into parts of the game that I haven't seen before. So I've never gone after the Necromancer Lord, never gone after the Gibbering Prophet. I'm assuming it's kind of the same strategies as before. Oh, we are up to the level 5 creatures in the Weald. Okay, that's good to know. Oh no, that's not true. Swine King and Unstable Flesh we still need to worry about. But yeah, Brigand Incursion is apparently on its way back, so I probably should be considering what heroes I'm bringing to the table. I also need to figure out sort of the Island of Misfit Toys heroes. I should probably get these guys up to level 3 as quickly as I can. Anyways, obviously I am wearing out my welcome, so thank you everybody for watching. For those of you who are specifically here for Darkest Dungeon, I tend to do this on Fridays. If you like my stuff in general, I usually cast Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Monday will almost always be a Paradox Grand Strategy game. I sometimes make an exception for the case of some other thing that Paradox is doing, like Surviving Mars or Age of Wonders Planetfall. Wednesdays have normally been Cultist Simulator. We are going to be wrapping that up once the Ghoul is done. Those will still be VODs on YouTube, but I will be switching to another game, which will be a regular one. It's my Canadian studio, and I'm very excited about a couple of things I'll be doing with that company, but I'm not going to talk about that until it's ready to go. Finally, Fridays, like I said, will normally be Darkest Dungeon, but I do leave it as my free day, so if something else comes up, I'll do that. Also, Tuesdays traditionally have been a Elder Scrolls playthrough. We did all of Arena, and we're getting close to the end of Daggerfall, so while I don't have chat interaction because it's a pre-recorded broadcast, if you like old games, that's available as well. But that's my advertising done, unless you want to hear me talk about the Epic Games Store, why I like it, and how I can make money getting purchases from it, but nobody wants to hear that. So let me see who I can host tonight. This is going to be an uncomfortable silence while I find somebody online. It used to be Octavian Zero, but I cast too long, so he's out. Oh, you know what? I have just the fellow. So we're going to host Kilgore Trout tonight. For those of you who don't know him, he is a sort of a classic game streamer. He does a lot of stuff on the GOG.com channel, which is where I first found him. He's on his own channel tonight. He's a fellow Canadian, and he is currently streaming Star Wars TIE Fighter, which is actually a game I have extremely fond memories of. So I hope you guys stick around. He's a good guy. I've raided him a bunch, so please don't feel bad about using that raid message if you want. I am going to stop talking and denying him whatever audience I can pass along. But again, thank you everybody for hanging out. This has been a lot of fun. Oh, who was that who followed? Yells, thank you very much for that follow. And yes, guys, it's been an unusually high number of follows today, so I appreciate it, and I hope you all have a good evening. I will leave you in the capable hands of Mr. Trout. Have a wonderful evening, and we'll see you next time.